This is totally not Danzig, and you're listening to the Shred Shack.
Greetings, folks. I'm Dan Mack.
And this is Chris Mack.
Welcoming you to episode 120 of the Shred Shack Podcast, your premier source of news and uninformed yet heavily biased opinions pertaining to all things heavy metal. Airing bi-weekly on iTunes, Mixcloud, Google Play, and iHeartRadio, as well as on youtube.com/theshredshack and youtube.com/adamanttemplum. Let's get started with some old business. And I never have this fucking
Old business is old business, and new business is new business.
One day I'll remember to actually get that button ready.
You should try and put them in order.
Well, they're in alphabetical order. I have them.
You should put them in order of use.
Yeah, I can do that.
Like right now, from the opening of the Shred Shack to old business to new business.
And we have no old business going to new business.
And this is new business, and we do not discuss new business until next quarter.
Old business is I never had the button ready. New business is I actually had the button ready. Because thankfully, old and new business are like right next to each other.
Yes.
So, usually with new business, we talk about new album releases. I don't think we have any to discuss this week.
Nope.
My copy of Lacuna Coil did not come yet.
What?
Yeah, it was not shipped until the 11th, which...
that was last week.
Yeah, that was like 2 days after it came out, or a day after.
Where did you get it from?
I ordered it from Century Media.
Oh.
And they're sending it through DHL and the United States Postal Service.
Damn.
Yeah, so last update that I got was from the 16th. I think today we're recording on the 18th.
We are.
And it said it was en route to the USPS facility.
Dude.
Yeah, it's
That's balls.
Yeah, estimated delivery is the 22nd of October.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's slow shipping.
Fuck.
So all my stuff shipped though. I was worried that because I ordered all this stuff back in July, August, and I was worried that the cheaper CDs that I bought with it were going to be out of stock by then. No, they said they shipped everything. So Devin Townsend, Napalm Death, and Adrenaline Mob.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Especially looking forward to that Napalm Death. So, but otherwise, I don't think we have any new releases to discuss.
Nope.
So let's talk about what else we've been listening to in the prior 2 weeks.
All right, so hashtag albums of the day. Starting from 2 weeks ago on Friday, we have Album of the Year by Faith No More.
Great album.
And, of course, AC/DC Live.
Yes.
How is your...
I stopped because I still need to watch the DVDs, and with the new job, I've been basically just coming home and crashing. So I haven't had a chance to watch.
Officially doubles start next week for me on Monday.
Oh, you're gonna do it?
They're allowing me to do, because the first set of doubles are back to back, the twilight shift into the night shift.
Mm-hmm.
But because I have the boys Thursdays for dinner, and it runs into that shift, and every other Friday they're letting me do Monday through Wednesday, which is nice.
Right on.
And then I think it's the second week in November or the week right before Thanksgiving where it switches to the day shift and the night shift, which sucks kind of because I have a shift, a several hour break, and then another shift.
Yeah,
that kind of sucks.
Yeah,
but it's money, and it's going to be until the end of the year, so it's all good. All right, continuing on with the albums of the day, we got Soil, Scars, and CKY The Phoenix. That was your weekend albums of the day.
Yes. I love that CKY album. You need to hear it.
That's the newest one?
Yeah.
Without Darren?
Yeah, that's the one with just Chad singing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right. Next up, we got Demon Hunter. I picked War from their I want to just call it a double album release from this year, but whatever. War from there. And then you picked Archer, Culling the Weak. Great record.
Yes.
Great record. speaking of great records, you had Arion, The Human Equation.
Mm-hmm.
I picked Times of Grace, The Hymn of Broken Man.
Yeah. Actually, I've had all these Arion posters that I've been meaning to hang up forever.
Mm-hmm.
I took the Human Equation one to work with me because it was what got me into.
You got an office kind of thing?
I have an office.
Nice.
Yeah, I made the joke to Dad. I went 6.5 months at Redacted,
Rival Redacted,
at Redacted to like. In the last 3 days that I was working there, I finally got an ID badge to get into the building. And I was like, I spent 6.5 months waiting for an ID badge, and day one at my new job, I have an office. So I was like, yeah, I think I made the right move.
It's a step up, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, you were continuing on with your A in the marathon here. We've got some AC/DC Ball Breaker.
Yep.
And I listened to Anthrax, For All Kings.
Right on.
Yeah, that's a great record. Speaking of great records, here we got Galactic Cowboys, Long Way Back to the Moon. And I listened to the OG S&M there.
Yeah, you'll have to discuss. We'll do an I Saw a Show thing.
Yeah, well, the movie the S&M 2 movie comes up in our podcast here. There's some news about that, so I will talk about it then.
Okay.
But I listened to the original S&M, and going back and listening to it, it's like, that fucking record rocks. It's so good. It's so good. 20 years later. Of course, it's October, so you have to listen to October Rust at least once. That was my album of the day, while you were listening to Nickel Vega.
Yeah. I have a double copy of that album, and it's been on repeat in my car. Like, basically, like, if I don't want to go through my iPod, it's been staying in my CD player.
Nice.
It's really good stuff.
All right, let's see who we got here. Next up, we got some Primal Fear, Devil's Ground.
Yep.
And Animalist Leader is The Madness of Many. Yes. And then Arch Enemy, War Eternal. And him, Screamworks.
Yeah, I realized that I haven't listened to that album that much.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's decent.
It's a good one. I think of their latter day stuff, Tears on Tape was better.
Gotcha.
Next up, we got Carb Holds.
Yeah.
Karma.
Yep.
And Huntress, Starbound Beast.
Yeah, the Carb Holds one I've had for a while from one of the Pat Gessner boxes of fun. And it kind of runs a strange gamut of like heavy metal to like reggae sounding to like almost ska sounding. I was like, what is going on right now? And it's all in German too.
I was going to say they're German, so
yeah,
that's interesting.
And it's all sung in German, so I'm like, I have no idea what's happening right now.
Wow. And last but not least, yesterday you listened to Metal Church, Damned If You Do.
Yeah, that's their latest great album. Metal Church is fantastic. It's a fantastic band, and it's their second one with Mike Howe back in the band, which makes me extremely happy. So
it's funny going through our Instagram account and going through like albums of the day and then the memes of the day.
Yeah, I have to give you today's meme of the day.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Before I go home and go to sleep.
I have the one that I want to do on Halloween, but I gotta get you today's and then probably collect a few more from the internet.
From the internets.
The interwebs.
The
Interwebs. All right. So let's go on, unfortunately, to obituaries.
Yep. So first one up here, of course. Last time we recorded, we mentioned that this gentleman was very ill. He passed away shortly after we recorded the podcast. Legendary Cream drummer Ginger Baker. He has passed away. He was 80 years old. After previously announcing that he was critically ill and asking fans to please keep him in your prayers, his family said Ginger passed away peacefully on Sunday morning, October 6th, at a hospital in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, that was literally a day or two after we recorded it, but before we posted. So
yeah, because I think it was that Sunday.
Yeah.
All right, Lynyrd Skynyrd's founding bassist Larry L.J. Junstrom, who was also a longtime member of 38 Special, had passed away. He was 70 years old. A member of an early incarnation of Lynyrd Skynyrd, Junstrom left the band prior to the recording of its debut album, 1973's pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd. He joined 38 Special in 1977 and performed and recorded with the group up until his retirement in 2014. Okay, Morten Strutzer, guitarist and founding member of Danish thrash metal veterans Artillery, passed away. He was only 57 years old. No cause of death was announced.
Alright, there's been too much death lately.
Alright, well, let's go to, he's the one they call Dr. Feel Not So Good.
Oh, for fuck's sake, this is so stupid.
Oh, it has to happen, okay? If you're more than one, it's going to happen. Get over it. Devildriver has canceled its appearance on the inaugural Mega Cruise after frontman Des Farfaras? Anyway, his wife was diagnosed with cancer.
Wow.
His wife of 20 years, by the way. You don't really read that very often.
Yeah.
Pretty Maid singer Ronnie Atkins has been diagnosed with lung cancer.
Shit.
And King's X has canceled all of his previously announced tour dates for 2019 so that drummer Jerry Gaskill can undergo undisclosed heart procedures.
Yeah. I think
He's been having so we've been reporting on his issues for a while now.
I unfortunately don't recall, but
there's that.
Being a person with heart issues, it's like, fuck.
I know. We just had an MRI for one of my kids because of a heart issue. So that was yesterday. All right. Well, at least we can go on to the general news.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's more lively.
Well, first off, Dream Theater guitarist John Petrucci has announced the details for the third edition of his Guitar Universe camp. Scheduled to take place August 1st through the 5th in 2020 at Hotel Irvine in Irvine, California. Next year's edition of the camp will feature Petrucci alongside Jason Richardson, Pliny, Stig Matheson, Stephanie Bradley, Andy Wood, and many others. The camp is being presented by Dreamcatcher Events and features masterclasses, including some from Petrucci himself, workshops, jams, concerts, lectures, signing sessions, and more.
That is cool. That sounds like Disney World for guitar nerds.
Right. Okay. Decibel Books has announced the publication of No Celebration, the official story of Paradise Lost. Due in November, this brand new hardcover chronicles the British doom metal progenitors. Yeah.
Progenitors?
Progenitors, I think. It's because, doom metal will be their progeny, so they are the progenitors.
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 There's no nators in there.
Yeah, you're right.
So.
Damn it.
Progenitors.
Progenitors?
Yes.
Progenitor. Okay, yeah. All right. Fucking A. There's that whole fucking reading thing. Anyway, but it's all about their groundbreaking 3-decade plus career with in-depth interviews, first-hand accounts, and never-before-seen photos.
That actually sounds cool. I have a few Paradise Lost albums, and they're really good.
Yeah, the few I have are very good, and I just don't listen to them enough.
Yeah.
All right, so Motley Crue, Blink-182, and Iron Maiden are leading in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's in-museum Voice Your Choice fan vote. Fans can cast their ballot in person at the Rock Hall Museum in Cleveland using the Voice Your Choice interactive section in the new Hall of Fame gallery. More than 80,000 votes have been cast at the museum in Cleveland during the year, with Motley Crue at 3,152 votes as of this past weekend, followed by Blink-182 at 2,217, Iron Maiden at 1,771, and Dave Matthews Band at 1,552. The Crew has been surging since the release of the band's biopic The Dirt on Netflix in March. Anyone who visits the museum is allowed to take part in the poll, which is separate from the annual fan vote that takes place once the nominees have been revealed. The official nominees for the class of 2020 will be announced on October 15th, and I believe come up later in our podcast.
The fact that you have to sit there and think, okay, Motley Crue, Iron Maiden, Blink-182, like, you have to realize that Blink-182's debut album came out 25 years ago, at least.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Like, wow. They've been around for that long.
And it's like, it's one of those things that kind of hurts to think about. It's like, yeah, I'm
fucking old.
I'm feeling old. And like, I don't even like Blink-182. And
Neither do I.
And you're making me feel old, you fuckers.
And now I really don't like you.
now I like you even less. I hate that song.
Oh, the small thing.
I hate that song with a burning passion.
Ugh. It hurts. Okay. Are you ready to move on, though?
I am ready.
So Ozzy Osbourne has once again postponed his European tour. In early April, Ozzy scrapped all his 2019 tour dates, both in North America and Europe, as he recovered from an injury sustained while dealing with his recent bout of pneumonia. The singer fell at his Los Angeles home, aggravating years-old injuries from his 2003 ATV accident that required new surgery. The European leg of his No More Tours 2 trek was then rescheduled for January-March 2020, with the North American dates set to follow in May 2020. Earlier that day, whichever this day I copied and pasted this from, Ozzy's social media was updated with a video message from the Black Sabbath legend in which he announced the postponement of the 2020 European tour and addresses his health status.
So, basically what I'm getting out of this is life is telling Ozzy to stop.
And he's still trying.
And he's still going.
He's still trying.
Or yelling out for Sharon.
Well, she's not listening. She's the one pushing him out there.
Yeah, that is true. Get the fuck out of the house. I can't have you here.
I can't have you here. You drive me crazy. Alex Skolnick will perform the U.S. national anthem at the Chicago Bulls Detroit Pistons game on Friday, November 1st at 7 p.m. at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. That same night, the Bulls will have a Metal Allegiance band spotlight.
The Bulls.
The Bears.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
super cool.
That's kind of an unexpected gig for them for Metal Allegiance, but
right.
Yeah, but that is very cool. It's kind of a mainstream deal. So,
especially pulling a guy like Alex Skolnick, because usually it's Zach Wilde that get to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, but
pulling out Alex Skolnick out of a band that's we all love, but not necessarily well known outside of our little crew here. That's pretty cool.
Outside of the niche of metal.
Yeah, pretty damn awesome. All right, Cradle of Filth have announced the cancellation of 3 European shows as well as a concert in Tel Aviv, quote, due to time restraints concerning writing and pre-production, unquote, for the band's upcoming album.
I mean, that sucks, but hey, finish that album, yo.
I guess. I mean, but you know, you can't like push it back and play those shows. Like, I don't know.
Maybe
Excuse me.
They'll postpone them or something.
Oh, speaking of postponing, Filter has postponed his previously announced tour celebrating the 20th anniversary of the band's platinum-selling sophomore album, Title of Record. The trek was scheduled to kick off on October 19th and run through November 27th. The band broke the news of the postponement in a social media post earlier that day. Filter wrote, due to scheduling conflicts and deadlines for Richard Patrick's work in film scoring, the Filter dates announced previously will be postponed to an undetermined later date. Refunds will be given at point of purchase.
They were trying to wrap their heads around the idea that Take My Picture is a bad song. Which, I mean, in my opinion, it is. I can't stand that song.
Yeah, it's a pretty shitty song.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Yeah, especially considering that, like, you know, you had Hey Man, Nice Shot as the leading single on the previous album, and then you go to Take My Picture, and I'm like, ew.
it's kind of like, it's funny. I go back and I listen to that first Sugar Ray album that had like Mean Machine on it, where they were like almost like a hardcore punk band. And then it's like the next album, it was Fly.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of songs I'm not a fan of.
Yeah. All right. Iron Maiden was invited to attend the Congress of the Argentine Nation, located in Buenos Aires, this past week, prior to the band's sold-out concert at the Vélez Sarsfield Stadium. The British heavy metal legends were formally honored as visitors of the nation and Chamber of Deputies of Argentina, a highly prestigious distinction granted to an international artist for the first time. The ceremony took place at the Salón de los Pasos Perdidos, on Friday, October 11th, where the Maiden members were presented with plaques. The motion was proposed and passed by the Chamber of Deputies of the Argentinian Congress earlier this year in recognition of the cultural and musical influence of the band and their music on the people of Argentina. Maiden has sold over 1 million records in Argentina to date and has been bringing its live shows to Buenos Aires since 1992's Fear of the Dark, playing to tens of thousands of fans at every concert. Last week's performance marks Maiden's 11th visit to the country.
Right on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's kind of amazing that they've only been there so often, but they're getting such a prestigious thing from them. Unfortunately, the only thing that's going through my head right now is like the metal scene, the metal giving scene from like Star Wars. Just Yannick.
Nick of my brain is totally chewy.
I was gonna say that Yannick was, but
nah,
tossing guitars in people's faces.
Nico's totally fucking chewy. Alright, Guns N' Roses' Sweet Child O' Mine is now officially the first music video from the 1980s to rock its way into YouTube's billion views club. This new milestone marks the second decade milestone for the band, whose 1992 video for the epic masterpiece November Rain broke records in 2018 as the first and so far only video from the 1990s to reach 1 billion views.
$100 billion. Sorry. No, that's pretty awesome. I'm guessing that's where a lot of that the charting comes from. Also, I tend to forget that YouTube's also
they are counted as a streaming service.
Yeah, so, that contributes to it. So I'm sure some of this has to do with that, which is why the greatest hits is always up there, or Appetite for Destruction. But good on them.
All right, Frontiers Music SRL has announced the signing of Her Chariot Awaits, a new band featuring the artistic union between the awesome American guitarist and producer Mike Orlando of Adrenaline Mob and highly regarded ex-Sirenia singer Ailyn on lead vocals. The band is currently wrapping up its debut album for release in 2020. All right, so here are the nominees for the class of 2020 for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Judas Priest.
They were. We said before that they were waiting to be announced. They've been announced.
Well, they were announced on the 15th. Today is the 18th.
Ah.
So Judas Priest, the MC5, Motorhead, Nine Inch Nails, Soundgarden, T-Rex, and Thin Lizzy are among the nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's class of 2020. Also nominated are Notorious B.I.G., Whitney Houston, Pat Benatar, Dave Matthews Band, Depeche Mode, The Doobie Brothers, Kraftwerk, Rufus featuring Shaka Khan, and Todd Rundgren. The top vote getters will be announced in January and inducted May 2nd, 2020 at a ceremony at Cleveland's Public Hall.
That's actually not a bad list of nominees.
No, it's not, and especially in the metal category or like the hard rock area, because Priest, Motorhead, Nine Inch Nails, fucking Soundgarden, and Thin Lizzy.
Yeah.
That's a pretty stacked lineup right there.
Yeah, I think MC5 were on the list last year. I remember that.
I think Judas Priest was too.
Yeah.
And so was Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah. So they're just scrapping the names from last year, but still it's still a pretty stacked lineup. So let's see what they go with.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, and it's funny because we were just talking about Blink-182 being around for 25 years. Dave Matthews' first album came out 25 years ago now. Holy fuck!
That one I actually don't feel as old about.
I get it, but still, damn.
Yeah, because
wow.
At least that one I've been following for a while, and I've just kind of grown up with it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's then the same thing with Nine Inch Nails and Soundgarden. So, the Soundgarden is, I think, almost a shoo-in for Soundgarden because of Chris Cornell, almost. But then the same thing could be said about Thin Lizzy for Phil Lynott. But what about Motorhead? Yeah, fucking true too. Jesus Christ.
I think we can rule out the member passing automatically gives you
that's true.
Gives you the right. So
yeah, we can probably cut that out.
And
here's the biggest thing about it, about Motorhead being inducted. Apparently, they are only inducting the original lineup of Fast Eddie and Lemmy and Filthy Animal.
Mm-hmm.
So Phil Campbell, who's been in the band for 20 years, and Mickey D are not going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Huh. That's kind of
a dick move.
Yeah.
Dick move. Especially when you consider who they inducted in the Hall of Fame for Metallica. I think they inducted all their bassists except for Ron McGovney. I think they did. So it's pretty ridiculous. How could you possibly do that?
Well,
and I think that was a big joke about when Deep Purple got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It was which version?
Yeah.
Who in that band is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame and who is not, and who gets the shit end of the stick?
You know, if ever it should happen, say a band like Iced Earth, or even a band like Megadeth,
right?
Who are you gonna go with? Because there's so many.
For Megadeth, it'd just be the Daves.
Yeah,
Dave Ellefson and Dave Mustaine. That's it.
Pretty much.
And then for Iced Earth, it's John Shaver.
Yeah, because I actually did some. I was doing a list for What Culture of inconsistent bands, and I was like, okay, bands that change lineups every single album, and or change rarely record with the same lineup twice, and for Iced Earth, at least one member changes per album.
Right.
Yeah, and it could be as minimal as a keyboardist, not for Iced Earth, but some bands just change
right
every time. I think another one was Evergrey.
Really?
Yeah, I think they change pretty often. But Iced Earth, I was just amazed that they've never had the same group twice.
That doesn't surprise me at all, though.
So
I mean, it's always been John Shaver's baby, and whoever can he probably records with whoever can record at that time.
Yeah,
he probably has a couple guys, couple solid guys that he likes to record with, but then he just revolving door.
Yeah, with Megadeth, they only had that 4-album stint with Mustaine, Ellefson, Friedman, and
Menza.
That was a 4-album stint, and they had the first 2 albums as well. But even with the first 2 albums, Chris Poland, he left the band prior to the recordings and then rejoined just before they started recording. So it's almost. So, all right, let's go on.
Yeah, Nuclear Blast has announced the signing of the modern metal outfit Amaranthe. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Swedish-Danish 6-piece is currently working on its 6th studio album, which will tentatively be unleashed in 2020.
Drop Dead Cynical.
Yep. So I'm going to need to get shirt sizes from y'all because I think I'm going to take care of the Shred Shack Christmas gift this year.
Is it the Texas one?
That'll be for us.
Okay.
The other one will be a surprise.
I was going to say that there is apparently a limited edition of one of these Shred Shack Texas
Actually,
t-shirts.
there's two. There's one that was fucked up. She showed it to me yesterday. I guess the original take on it. It was bad. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like they nailed it on the second one, but that
Gotcha.
first one was rough.
Okay. Well, limited proper edition of one of a Shred Shack Texas T-shirt exists, and no one in the actual Shred Shack has it.
It's good too. It's a really good looking shirt. It looks really great.
Yeah.
So that'll be us. We'll be taking care of that one. But I got an idea for the group shirt.
I gotta work on more designs. So.
All right. Last but not least, here, according to Billboard, Aerosmith's "Deuces Are Wild" residency has grossed $31.1 million and sold 151,837 tickets since opening up on April 6th. The legendary rockers have played 24 shows at the Park Theater in Las Vegas, plus a few shows at other MGM locations around the country, 3 at the theater at MGM National Harbor in Oxon, Maryland, and 4 at Mass Mutual Center in Springfield, Massachusetts. The residency has averaged $1.002 million in grosses per show, with the band's run from September 21st to October 6th generating $6.5 million and selling 29,805 tickets.
At least they're still playing. So, like, Steven Tyler's taking a step back from his
country career,
quote unquote country career, because, man, fuck that.
I still haven't heard it. I'm good.
No two ways about it. Fuck that.
Nice.
That's all I gotta say.
Nice.
So it looks like we have nothing for the crime blotter, which is good.
Nice. Always nice to see.
Yeah. People are behaving themselves. Fuckers.
I think I haven't followed football in probably about 3 years, but I still like some of the pages on Facebook, and I follow one called NFL Memes, and they posted something the other day. It's like the NFL has gone 3 weeks without any of its players being arrested. That's the longest streak it's had since like 1990. Like, damn, that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
I was actually when I spent this past weekend building IKEA furniture. So to sit there and drown out my cursing, I actually put on football. Because I have a passive interest in it, and it was like, okay, it's one of the few cable channels that we get.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like putting on a DVD or a movie or anything like that, so I just threw on football.
Nice.
And I'm sitting there cursing out my coffee table.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. All right. So here we are, Metallica's breaking shit. So following last week's international release of Metallica and San Francisco Symphony's S&M 2, the film has cemented itself as the largest ever global rock event cinema release, having earned $5.5 million at the box office across more than 95 countries in more than 3,700 cinemas worldwide. Trafalgar,
we'll go with that.
Trafalgar Releasing are now pleased to announce that due to the success and continued fan demand, the film will be returning for one more night worldwide on October 30th.
Okay, two things. One, the way that it's written on here, it automatically did a squared for S&M, so it's S&M squared.
Well, S&M too, yes. For sure.
I think I actually like the sound of that, S&M squared. And two, it's funny when you hear about like films that flop, and yet this has been more successful than Fred Durst's last movie.
Yeah. And it was actually, and interestingly enough, it was also more successful than their movie Through the Never.
Yeah.
Because this is strictly
The concert.
the concert,
Yeah. Which you saw.
which I did see, and it was spectacular.
So what I want to know is set list.
All right, well, I actually have it pulled up right here.
Okay.
All right, so set list. They had 2 sets, just like they did with the original S&M.
Mm-hmm.
They opened up with the Ecstasy of Gold, of course, and then go right into Call of Cthulhu, which was pretty much how they started off the
Last
original
time.
S&M.
Yeah.
From there, they went for Whom the Bell Tolls,
Okay.
The Day That Never Comes, which was actually really, really good.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be.
It was fucking great. They followed that up with The Memory Remains. Next up, they did Confusion from Hardwired to Self-Destruct, which made me rethink that song because it was actually quite good with the orchestra.
Okay.
Followed that up with Moth into Flame.
Okay.
The Outlaw Torn.
Oh, wow.
Spectacular, show-stopping fucking song both times. No Leaf Clover, and they closed out that set with Halo on Fire.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quality set right there. Okay, so set number 2, I really like the beginning of this set because they really changed the focus away from Metallica and more onto the orchestra, which is what I think was kind of lacking in the original S&M. Like the original S&M, it was Metallica accompanied by the symphony. This time, they really put a lot of focus on the symphony and Metallica accompanying them. So they open up the second set with just the symphony performing the Scythian Suite, the second movement of the Scythian Suite. Then they did a cover of Alexander Mozilov's Iron Foundry. Metallica jumped in on this one, but again, it was still the focus was the orchestra. Then they performed the Unforgiven 3.
That's the one I was gonna.
But this one is the most interesting because it was the Unforgiven 3 with just the orchestra and James Hetfield singing, not Metallica.
Wow.
And it was so good, but super awkward to watch James without a guitar. He doesn't know what to do with his hands. He doesn't really. It's super awkward to watch. Then they follow that up with All Within My Hands acoustically, which was actually pretty badass. Like, that was a really good song, the acoustic version. The next one up, they did Anesthesia, Pulling Teeth, with the bass part performed by one of the bassists from the symphony on an electric stand-up.
Nice.
Incredible. It was so good. But then they went back, and the last couple songs were just your straight-up Metallica fare. You got Wherever I May Roam, One, Master of Puppets, Nothing Else Matters, and they closed out with Enter Sandman. All in all, the show was so good.
There's it seems like there was a lot of emphasis on Latter Day.
Yeah, the thing is, the original S&M, of course, took place 20 years ago.
Yeah.
They've released 3 albums since then.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of incorporate the new stuff,
But,
while also paying tribute to what they did the first time with Michael Kamen.
Yeah.
What I really liked about this set is the first time when they did it, it was a typical stage. So the stage was at one end of the stadium, and then the crowd.
Yeah.
With S&M 2, they performed in the round. So everyone was like the symphony and Metallica were in the center of the stadium. And remember, this is the opening of the new Staples Center in California or whatever it is, and the audience was all the way around them. So everyone got to be involved a little bit, like even the orchestra was. And it was just really great to see all the angles and what they were able to do with production, because it's a lot bigger this time, and it was really good. It sounded great. The band sounded great. The orchestra sounded great. And the good thing about it is that there's a continuity between styles of orchestration, like from Michael Kamen stuff from the original orchestrations and original S&M, and the new stuff for the new songs have the same kind of sound. You know, definitely the same kind of flourishes, the same kind of melody following. Like, a lot of it was very similar, but of course new.
Gotcha.
It was very cool to see that the harpist in the New York Symphony is the same harpist from 20 years ago. Same fucking guy. I don't know if anyone else would notice this, but I just remember him from the documentary of the original S&M, and it's the same fucking guy. It's so cool to see that. And the conductor this time around is a younger dude. He's probably like around our age. And he's probably like, you know, he probably cut his teeth, you know, in the music world listening to S&M.
Yeah.
The original one. Like, he just looks like that guy who would definitely be caught right between those two worlds, and the S&M was like his record.
Yeah.
And again, it was just a really, really good movie. And if I swear, I really, really hope that they fucking release this on DVD, because I will buy the shit out of it, because it really is that good. Some of the reviews I read about it were like this is the concert film that Metallica was supposed to make like forever ago. This is the one that holds up to everything that they've ever done. Like, this is the concert film that we all deserve from this band.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm sure they'll do something with it.
I sure hope so. Again, because it was so good.
Yeah.
It really, really was. Like, I was going into it just as a pure Metallica fan, but like, it was just so fucking good.
Yeah.
And the theater was packed too.
Oh, really?
It was packed. It was a Wednesday night, and like the whole theater was packed. And the volume started off a little low, but about maybe a quarter of the way through, they turned it up to 11, and it got super loud. And it was fucking great. And the craziest thing is that at the end of every song, we all start clapping like we're watching a live show. It's like, dude, this is a fucking film. What are we doing? Why are we doing this? And of course, I was doing the same. Wait, what? The fuck? But it was really quite the experience. And
sometimes you have to yell at the screen. So
it was just really, really good, really good. I highly recommend. Like, if anyone if it's showing in a movie theater on October 30th around you, please go fucking see S&M 2. Yeah, that was good.
Okay, so let's go on to Feudin. I'm not calling it.
Feudin?
I'm not calling it.
You're not saying it?
I'm not calling it.
You're not gonna do it?
Not gonna do it.
All right. Anyway, according to Bloomberg Law, Metallica has won a legal battle in with Chilean businessman Horacio Mardones over the graphically and phonetically identical trademark for clothing and footwear registered by him 20 years ago. Chile's Supreme Court honored the group's request to annul Mardone's trademark. The band in 2012 lost an attempt to oppose the registration of the brand. Metallica argued that Mardone's was using the registration in bad faith. The band's attorney Ricardo Montero of the firm Silva y Cia told Bloomberg Law. There was nothing like showing what they were talking about in this particular article, so I really have nothing else to contribute to this.
Gotcha. So next we have Alcoholica.
Alcoholica. All right. So, Few Spirits and Warner Music Artist Services have announced All Secrets Known, a new limited release bourbon distilled by Few Spirits master distiller Paul Hetko. We're going to go with that. In collaboration with Grammy-nominated and multi-platinum selling Seattle grunge pioneers Alice in Chains. Bottles feature a custom-designed label by artist Justin Helton. All Secrets Known, which is going for $75, a 750 milliliter bottle, is a nod to the name of the opening track of Alice in Chains' 2009 gold-certified release, Black Gives Way to Blue. This new bourbon is finished for 6 months in tequila barrels and bottled at the most rock and roll of proofs, 101, which is, of course, just over 50% alcohol by volume. Bold, sweet, and spicy bourbon, top notes that have become the hallmark of Few and led to multiple category awards are accentuated by grassy agave undertones.
You know, I don't. At this point, I don't drink really, but I want to have some of these. Like,
right?
I just want to own them and be able to display them.
I just feel very, very left out because as soon as I quit drinking, like every band decided to release something.
Yeah.
Every band, including my favorite band, Metallica, Blackened Whiskey. Yes, I would love to drink some Blackened Whiskey 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
But I have the space on top of the cabinets that I would just like to display them and be like, yeah, that one's from this band and that one's from this band. Now, I also read recently, you're familiar with Parks and Recreations, right?
Yes.
Okay. The actor who plays Ron Swanson, Nick Offerman, he actually just released his own single malt scotch.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. And I was like, I would just like to have that just to display. So,
and then the label is just nothing but a stash.
Actually, he when he's obviously the show's over and everything, but he rocks
a rockin' beard,
a manly beard.
Yeah. While he's hand carving canoes.
Yep.
The only person who can make wood carving cool.
I'm sure there are others.
This is just a joke from the internet.
So we don't have anything for merchandising, which is kind of surprising.
Surprising, yeah.
Okay.
Although, like, I think one of the things for recording news is it mixes in a little merchandising in there, but I put in recording news anyway.
Okay. So let's go on to recording news.
Suicide Silence have completed work on their 6th studio album. The disc was produced by Steve Evans, who's worked with Every Time I Die, The Dillinger Escape Plan, and was mixed by Josh Wilbur, who's worked with Lamb of God and Gojira. A 2020 release date is expected.
Right on.
Sons of Apollo, the progressive metal supergroup featuring vocalist Jeff Scott Soto of Talisman and Journey, bassist Billy Sheehan of Mr. Big and David Lee Roth, guitarist Ron Bumblefoot Thal of Guns N' Roses, keyboardist Derek Sherinian of Dream Theater Black Country Communion, and of course, drummer extraordinaire Mike Portnoy of Everything. They have completed work on their 2nd album.
Nice.
Saxon frontman Biff Byford released his debut solo album, School of Hard Knocks, in early 2020. The album's first single, Welcome to the Show, will arrive on October 25th, while the follow-up single, the disc's title track, is expected to be issued on December 13th. School of Hard Knocks will feature a guest performance by Opeth guitarist Friedrich Akison, who collaborated with Byford on some of the material on the record. Hashtag copy and paste. Just to prepare you for what I'm going to be saying here.
Gotcha.
Over nearly 2 decades, Queens of the Stone Age have built a powerful and distinctive body of work that marks QOTSA, whatever the fuck, Queens of the Stone Age, as one of rock's most consistently audacious outfits. The band's reputation was built on its early hot streak of 4 smash releases: Rated R, Songs for the Deaf, Lullabies to Paralyze, and Era Vulgaris. Interscope Records adds an exciting new chapter to Queens of the Stone Age catalog with high-quality 180-gram vinyl editions of Rated R and Songs for the Deaf on November 22nd, and Lullabies to Paralyze and Era Vulgaris on December 20th, 2019.
That's another one that in a few short years they'll be coming up for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
If they're nearly hitting 20 years at this point.
Right.
So just another 5. Before you know it, they'll be up there and probably snubbed a few times.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Well, Nightwish will release Decades live in Buenos Aires on December 6th as a Blu-ray digibook, 2 CD digipack, Blu-ray and 2 CD earbook, and 3 LP via Nuclear Blast. The set was recorded on September 30th, 2018 at Estadio Malvinas in Buenos Aires, Argentina, during the Decades tour in support of the band's compilation album of the same name.
That sounds pretty good.
It's just to hold me over for a new Nightwish release because it's been a while already.
Oh yeah. Well, wasn't some of that because Flora's pregnant and everything?
Oh, they also just were taking a break after the last record anyway.
Yeah. So
What's his name? The keyboardist who writes all the songs. He had to do the Scrooge McDuck album.
Yeah. Which, hey, you know what? If you sit there and say, I want to do an album about Scrooge McDuck, yeah, you put aside shit and you do it. You know what my favorite thing about money is? I have a lot of it.
I love watching that show. DuckTales is the shit.
I really want to see the new versions of it.
With David Tennant as Scrooge McDuck?
Yeah. Speaking of which, I bought the DVDs for Gravity Falls, which your kids would probably like.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, it's basically like two kids working with their uncle, and the entire like town is all supernatural.
I think I've seen like clips of this show.
It's where like the old man bits come from.
Oh, okay.
The is it wrong to punch a teenager in the face and all that kind of stuff. So
I'm tired during the day.
Yeah, that's the same show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great show, and I bought the complete series on box set finally.
Well, when we stay at your house in 2 weeks, I think maybe I'll show them a couple episodes.
Yeah.
All right, Richie Kotzen, who is the guitarist from the Winery Dogs, Poison, and Mr. Big, is currently recording a new 50-song solo album.
Jesus.
That will be released on February 3rd, which is the guitarist's 50th birthday. A song for every year of life.
I'm just imagining what is each song going to entail? Is this going to be like a 2-disc thing? Is this going to be a series of short things? Is it going to be one continuous thing? Is it going to detail his life and like musically or something?
Is it going to be 45 tracks of silence and then like 5 tracks of music?
Yeah. So I'm actually kind of curious about what does 50 tracks entail?
Right. This is a birthday box set, a gift from me to me
for being such a good
boy
boy
this year. Ha ha! It's gonna be sizzling like fajita meat. Oh my god. Anyway, Annihilator will release their new album Ballistic Sadistic on January 24th, 2020 via Silver Lining Music.
All right.
Lordi will release their new album Collection. Yep, that's the word.
That's the word.
That's the word. On January 31st, 2020 via AFM Records.
They have no problem with punish type things.
Well, it's almost kind of like Killigy from Slayer there. Their little cinematic thing.
How many words can we put kill in front of?
All of the words. Collection. Ugh. Static X will release a new album titled Project Regeneration, featuring the last recordings of the band's late frontman Wayne Static on May 29th, 2020. The rest of the group's original lineup, bassist Tony Campos, drummer Ken Jay, and guitarist
Koichi Fukuda.
Fukuda. Fukuda. Yeah, okay. Fukuda. Will also be featured on the album and in the music videos.
Right on.
20 years ago, Satyricon released its groundbreaking fourth studio album, Rebel Extravaganza, an album that marked the start of a black metal evolution and has influenced the genre ever since.
That's copy
and paste. And continuing on, the album will now be available as a remastered reissue on December 13th via Napalm Records. By breaking up all given boundaries, Satyr and Frost included progressive and experimental parts combined with synthesizing? Yes. Time signatures and backed up by guest appearances of genre luminaries like Ferenz of Dark Throne and Snorrush of Thorns. The album became the main inspiration for a myriad of up-and-coming experimental black metal acts and the birth of a new Satyricon era. The fully remastered Rebel Extravaganza will be released as a special limited edition 20th anniversary pictured double vinyl edition as 2 LP gatefold and digipack.
That is cool. That is very cool.
Yes, it is. Something I will consider purchasing. Paradise Lost will enter Orgon Studios in Milton Keynes United Kingdom at the end of the month with producer Jamie Gomez Arellano. Yeah. To begin recording their new album. An early 2020 release is expected.
Yeah, I think it's Milton Keynes.
Milton Keynes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard the name before.
Okay. So. All right. Parlophone Records will continue its reissue series of the Iron Maiden catalog with the fourth and final set of Digipack CDs in the Studio Collection Remastered to be released on November 22nd. The albums are Dance of Death, A Matter of Life and Death, Standard and Collect. Oh, okay, Standard and Collectors, right. The Final Frontier and 2015's double album, The Book of Souls. As a bonus for collectors, one CD from each batch of releases is optionally available in a specially artwork designed box featuring 1.2 scale figurine and exclusive patch. In the final batch, this will be A Matter of Life and Death. That's the merchandising part of this.
Gotcha. Surprised that they're already automatically just re-releasing the Book of Souls. It's,
I think what they said is that the Book of Souls essentially it's not getting remastered because it's already the same quality as it was when it was recorded. Mm-hmm. It's just going to be available in Digipack for the first time.
Okay, well,
and plus it's just part of the whole collection here.
I was actually listening to that during the week. I took my iHome, the one that's in my office for my iPod. I brought it to work with me so I could listen to music at work, and just threw on Book of Souls because it's something I need to get more familiar with.
Yep.
That and Final Frontier.
Mm-hmm.
So before we carry on, little bit of funny for me personally. So obviously I've been doing the A to Z marathon very slowly, and it's been nothing but AC/DC. So again, this is same track over and over, and there's a track that was on Razor's Edge and live called Are You Ready? And I was like, okay, this is a cool song. It's good. Enjoyable. It's kind of catchy and everything. It's now the theme song to Friday Night SmackDown.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's now the theme song. So they play it every Friday night on Fox.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah. And I was like, I know that song. Now I know that song. I didn't know it before, but I know it now.
That's badass.
Yeah, so it's just the intro's pretty cool. So they changed up a lot of stuff for the show. Is
the show itself quality?
Yeah, it's
so far. I mean, it's only been like 3 weeks.
It's on its third week as of today. It's WWE, so it's hit or miss.
Yeah.
So,
I just recently saw that they are already replacing Eric Bischoff.
Yes.
As executive director or whatever
with Bruce Pritchard, Brother Love.
That's why the name was fucking familiar.
Yeah. Yeah, the super red guy. But they just finished doing the draft, so
I heard that didn't go very well.
Well, one of the funny things I heard from that was they released a list of all the names of the potential people to be drafted, and the way that the list that they gave was in the exact order that they started to announce the names. It was like, so there's no surprise here. It goes like Raw, SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown, Raw, Raw, SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown, Raw, and like. Exactly. You follow it along with your finger as you watch the show. It was like right up to a T. I was like, oh wow, that's funny.
Weren't very clever in the writing on that one, guys.
Yeah, someone done fucked up.
Like this is someone in the background is probably face like this was just a draft of what I wanted to happen, not the exact thing. Jesus.
Yeah. And that was,
you had one job.
That was posted on WWE.com too. So it was like, some
intern got fired.
But and then people started to get wise to it by the end of the show, so they tried to change up the order, but like it was still the same people.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Someone done fucked up.
So we don't have anything for the good that men do this week, but let's talk a little bit about crowdfunding tracker.
Yeah, I have the Obsidian Realm pulled up here because I'm still considering purchasing.
I suggest you do. It's like they've been announcing the bands that are going to be on it and everything.
Well, I'm looking at anywhere between the $80 to $100 tier.
Really?
Yes. Well, the thing is, the $100 tier gets everything that everything above it, plus a CD from each band on the roster until May 2020.
Yeah. I
mean, that's a pretty badass little thing there.
Yeah. Actually, the Dwell and Doom CD, which is one of my albums of the day, that's coming out on actual physical CD soon. I got to pre-order a copy.
Oh, so I should probably order it, get the $100 one, so I can get that until May 2020.
So first, starting off, two of the ones we've been talking about lately have ended. Unfortunately, both unsuccessful. First one is the No Speed Limit Quebec Metal book about the Quebec metal scene from 1964 to 1989. Their goal was $6,666 Canadian dollars or $5,074 US dollars. They only hit 1,911 Canadian dollars or 1,454 American dollars, unfortunately. So that was an unfortunate bummer. And also Marita wanting to release her album Bloodlust on vinyl was unfortunately unsuccessful. Goal of 18,000 in whatever form of money is in Norway. I'm not sure of what kind. It's just annotated by NOK. But she only reached 2,358, which translates in American to 256 out of 1960. So, unfortunately, that was unsuccessful. The other two that we've been covering, Fire from Heaven, is currently sitting at about 54%, so $272 out of 500, with 19 days to go. This is the technical death metal album, again with options as far as rewards go for instrumental versions, physical CD versions of previous or the upcoming album that he's releasing. There's basically like the entire catalog on Spotify attached to the Kickstarter, so if people want to get a real ear of what's going on with this project or what the project's all about, go for it. But again, that has 19 days left. And then the Obsidian Realm Records one, which I actually upped my my contribution to get the T-shirt. Is sitting at $162 out of 400, with 28 days to go. So I'm really pushing for that one, and I'm probably gonna make a separate post for that one at some point because I really want this album. But yeah, one thing I found recently that interested me based on one of the members of it. There is a concept by, I guess, a group named ZIO. It features Haley Griffith, Joe Payne, Frank Carducci, and Heather Finlay. Heather Finlay was the voice of Love on Love on Human Equation. So that's what got me to take a look at this. It's a prog, like a prog group. And
love it.
Yeah, right off the bat, first reward is the CD, a Digipack CD. Their goal was $5,140 or 4,000 UK pounds. They're currently sitting at $3,122 or 2,430 UK pounds.
Not bad.
Okay. So they are there. 10 days to go. So. But they describe it as a sci-fi, fantasy, storytelling, and DIY project. I just really only heard about this one in the last day or two and saved it. So I haven't heard anything from it. I haven't played the video that accompanies it, so I'm not sure what it sounds like. But you say Prague, and you technically have me at Prague.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So
and pretty much anyone involved in the human equation, you just kind of like latch onto right away.
Yeah. I'm thinking of doing the vinyl and CD, just because I need more vinyl to fill up this
lovely little box you got here.
This Kalak. That's the actual name of it from IKEA. I think Kalak.
You know, it's funny. I on that app I've been using to learn Spanish, I decided to like fuck around and start learning Swedish. I was like, and I told Lindsay, she's like, "Yeah, it's great. You can understand what they're talking about at IKEA." It's like, no, I can understand apple because it's spelled the same with an umlaut.
But yeah, that's it for Kickstarter. We'll be posting the links for the remaining ones on to accompany this podcast as per usual. Things I want. Did you come up with anything for this?
I just want S&M 2 on DVD and CD. Maybe a digipack, Blu-ray, fucking CD combo pack, whatever the fuck. I'll take it. I want it. I want the same thing. I own Through the Never, the CD and the actual movie, but I would really like them to release a video of just the concert from that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need the narrative. I just want the concert because the concert footage is incredible. But just broken up with that silly narrative they got going on. So I would really like to just that.
Yeah.
That's what I would like.
Okay. I didn't have one for this week, unfortunately. It's been kind of a hazy week. So spent. I was supposed to come home a little early on Wednesday and build the second half of my Hafsta, which is my new bookshelf / glass cabinet downstairs, and I ended up staying late at work to build chairs. So I was building something.
You're building shit.
I was building shit. So just not the shit I wanted to build. So yeah, it's been a bit of a late week. So let's go on to concert news, starting off with festivals.
Well, it's amazing after being announced that James Hetfield was going to rehab that Metallica is already announcing dates for next year. Mm-hmm. So they have a lot of confidence in James, and maybe that was what caused him to go into rehab, to kind of prepare himself. He's probably felt himself slipping. He's got these big festivals that they're working towards. He probably needed to get healthy before the next year.
Yeah.
Anyway, Metallica will headline all 5 of Danny Wimmer Presents festivals next year. Epicenter, Welcome to Rockville, Sonic Temple Art and Music Festival, Louder Than Life, and Aftershock. The band will play 2 separate headlining sets at each stop, marking Metallica's only U.S. festival appearances of 2020. In addition to 2 appearances at each festival, Metallica will also deliver a unique setlist for each performance, resulting in 10 different shows over the course of the year. The 5 festivals are May 1st through the 3rd, Epicenter at its new location at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in Charlotte, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. May 8th through the 10th, Welcome to Rockville at its new location at the Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida.
New locations, I'm like, did you get kicked out of the previous ones or what?
They're just getting too big, probably.
Probably.
May 15th through the 17th, Sonic Temple Art and Music Festival at Map Free. I'm sticking with that.
Yep.
Stadium in Columbus, Ohio. September 18th through the 20th, Louder Than Life at Highland Festival Grounds at KY Expo Center in Louisville, Kentucky.
If you're putting Highland in front of it, you better be talking about Scotland.
Right. And finally, October 9th through the 11th, the Aftershock at Discovery Park in Sacramento, California.
Right on.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot of festivals.
That's a lot of festivals. 2 nights at each festival, 10 different sets total. Crazy. All right, Lollapalooza Chile, Lollapalooza Argentina, and Lollapalooza Brazil have unveiled the lineups of the 2020 editions, revealing a bill featuring headliners Guns N' Roses, Travis Scott, The Strokes, Lana Del Rey, Martin Garrix, and Gwen Stefani. The lineup also includes Armin van Buuren, Vampire Weekend, Cage the Elephant, James Blake, Brockhampton, Alan Walker, Illenium, Lumineers, Casey Musgraves, Rex Orange County, Rita Ora, A Day to Remember, Charlie XCX, okay, Perry Farrell's Kind Heaven Orchestra, King Princess, LP, Jaden Smith, Maiden, and more.
Jaden Smith is in Will Smith's son?
I think so, yeah.
When did you become a musician?
I don't know.
When he realized that acting failed?
Pretty horribly, yeah. I don't know. Anyway, let's go on to some regular touring news. All right, so Destruction will embark on the Thrash Alliance European tour this winter. They will be joined by a Legion of the Damned, Suicidal Angels, and Final Breath.
Yeah. That sounds cool.
Yes has announced an 8-date UK tour for May and June of 2020. The Album Series 2020 tour will feature Yes's 1974 Relayer album performed in its entirety, together with a selection of other classic Yes favorites. An extensive European tour will be announced soon.
That may be one of the few Yes albums I actually have. I think. I'm not sure. They have a lot of fucking albums.
Yes, they do.
And I have some split between vinyl and CD. So.
Yes, they do.
Oh, for fuck off. Get the fuck out of here.
No. Never. Machine Head has announced the North American leg of his 25th anniversary tour for the band's classic debut, Burn My Eyes. The dates kick off in Phoenix on January 16th and continue across Texas, Florida, New York, Toronto, Chicago, and Denver, wrapping up at the legendary Fox Theater in Oakland, California on February 21st and House of Blues in Anaheim, California on February 22nd. There is a San Antonio date on January 21st at the Aztec.
Actually, I'm surprised this didn't come up in Feudin'. Did you see what's been going on between Machine Head and Dope?
Yeah, I didn't want to write about it.
Well, it's pretty much like...
Or copy and paste about it.
It was mostly like... It was mostly Rob Flynn saying shit and like...
Getting debunked and shut down.
Well, Edsel Dope's response was pretty eloquent and just kind of like... I don't know what your problem is. like just kind of like, I respect you.
It's like,
but,
why are you a dick?
But hey, people listen to us. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Then you can back up your shit with numbers. I mean, it's all on you then.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, so.
All right, well, Nightwish vocalist Floor Jansen will embark on a short solo tour of the Netherlands in January 2020. During the trek, she will perform songs that she originally sang during her recent appearance on the Dutch reality TV show Best Zangers, which is just, Best Singers, as well as select tracks from her career.
Right on. Let's hope a After Forever track or two are in there.
I'm sure there are.
Yeah. Maybe an Arion song. Yeah.
Following his just concluded wildly successful UK arena tour, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Alice Cooper has announced his spring 2020 tour plans. He will extend the All Black Eyes Is Back show, which debuted in summer of 2019, to the delight of fans into the new year. The spring 2020 leg of the tour kicks off on April 1st in Peterborough, Ontario, and runs through April 22nd in Portland, Oregon. These dates will feature special guest Lita Ford. The legendary rocker will also return to the road in the fall for the fall 2019 leg of the tour. That trek begins on November 3rd in Florida before wrapping up on November 30th in Illinois.
I really need to see Alice Cooper headline a show.
It's always been the opener.
I've seen him open maybe twice. I think twice, and he has rocked both times.
Yeah, you definitely need to see him on his own.
Yeah, because I think it was both times at Jones Beach, so it's like daylight.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And outdoors.
Well, outdoors I'd be okay with, but
at Jones Beach is the wind that gets you.
Yeah. I mean, unless there's like a aura to the band that kind of situation helps and it makes you feel cool. Like when I saw Priest for Ozfest, it was thunder and lightning.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, this is cool.
All right, Periphery, which recently wrapped up its wildly successful Periphery 4 Hell Stand North America tour, has extended the outing, adding a winter 2020 swing through the U.S., with festivities kicking off on January 30th in San Francisco.
Coming around here?
They are playing, I think, all three towns, not San Antonio.
So
Dallas, Houston, and Austin.
Of course.
And that's in February, which I will consider looking at. If it's the second weekend of February, I will consider going.
Yeah.
Because in the fourth weekend of February, I am seeing Opeth.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we were supposed to see Explosions in the Sky next week, but the show was canceled. Apparently, there's some issues with the venue. Mm-hmm. And the band is like, you know what? Fuck it. We'll come back. Apparently, they're already planning another tour next year, and they're planning on hitting the Austin area next year.
Right on.
So we'll see about that. All right. Last but not least, here, the music of Cream. The pedigree of the hallowed 60s trio Cream, featuring Kofi Baker, which is Ginger Baker's son, Malcolm Bruce, which is Jack Bruce's son, and Will Johns, who is Eric Clapton's nephew. So this really is the progeny of Cream.
Yeah, seriously.
Has announced an exciting new tour for 2020, honoring the legendary band's landmark album Disraeli Gears. The 40-date North American outing will feature Disraeli Gears performed in its entirety, followed by a set of additional hits and rarities from Cream, Clapton, Blind Faith, and more. The upcoming tour finds the music of Cream continuing their celebration of the extraordinary music and legacy their family members created more than 50 years ago via their extensive live show and personal stories and footage of their fathers and mentors.
Hey, I mean, like, you always say that certain bands can live on and whatnot, so this is...
I didn't realize it was going to be kind of like a mafia type thing where it's all in the family, but... Whatever, man. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. All right, one-offs. Jerry Cantrell has announced a special concert on December 7th at the Pico Union, the Pico Union Project in Los Angeles, California. In a post on his Instagram, Cantrell said that he will be, quote, accompanied by some cool friends performing songs you might expect, others I haven't played in quite a while, and maybe even one or two that I never have. He added that the show dubbed An Evening with Jerry Cantrell should be a lot of fun.
Sounds like it would be.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine the people he can bring out for a show like that.
Yeah.
Like anybody.
Yeah. That would be cool.
That would be cool. All right. Are we ready to be disappointed in the heavy metal on the charts?
I am always ready to be disappointed.
Well, first, let's go through a noteworthy point here. Fear Inoculum, the title track of Tool's recently released album, has reached number 1 on the active rock radio chart, giving the band its 4th career number 1 radio single, as well as the outfit's first chart topper in 13 years.
Because it's the first thing they released in 13 years.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I don't know why they bother to put in that kind of information.
Right?
It's kind of stupid.
Like, duh.
I mean, if it was the first time since like an album prior to that, then yeah, I can go with that. But it's like it's been 13 years since the last album. Why do you even bother?
All right, are we ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. Well, you like to hear the top 5. I don't know why, but the number 1 is Super M, the first mini album EP.
What the fuck is Super M?
Apparently, well, we were listening to that little blip that I wouldn't turn off earlier. They're a K-pop band.
Okay.
So apparently they're making some crossover appeal here in America.
Okay.
Next up we got Summer Walker, she has a new album out called Over It. That's at number 2.
Okay.
Number 3 is Post Malone's Hollywood's Bleeding. Da Baby. I don't know who the fuck that is, but that person, I don't even know if it's a boy, girl, I don't know. They have an album called Kirk, is at number 4. And number 5 is Taylor Swift, Lover. Number 6.
Remember that one week where Tool beat Taylor Swift?
Oh, yeah, I remember that 1 week. Let's see where Tool is now.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see where they are now. You know? And the thing is, like, it was later revealed that, like, Tool, the Feeler Inoculum, was, like, one of the highest selling albums by physical sales this year. Mm-hmm. Which, you know, gives credit to, like, metal fans and Tool fans, and of course they have the really cool packaging and whatnot. Yeah. The fact of the matter is that if you really want to think about it, does that really matter anymore? Mm. You know, because they might sell 100,000 copies of the record once, while Taylor Swift here is, quote unquote, selling 100,000 copies of her record every time somebody downloads it. Yeah. Or every time someone streams the fucking album or whatever. Yeah. You know, it's I don't know. Yeah. Anyway.
I gotcha.
Anyway, the motherfucker Chris Brown is still in the fucking top 6 with his album.
Someone needs to punch him in the face.
Repeatedly.
Did I ever show you the video of Chris Brown's agent?
No.
It's either Funny or Die or College Humor or something like that, and it's basically like every time the agent gets a call from Chris Brown, it's always bad news. It's like I punched Eminem, and it's like, well, okay, we can twist this, and he provoked you, and he was like, no, you let me finish. I punched Eminem's cat. Okay, really? and it's basically shit like that. It's really fucking funny. They did the same thing with Nicolas Cage and I think Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, that's great.
It's like really just funny shit.
That's wonderful. All right, so at number 13 is Abbey Road by the Beatles.
Okay.
Number 13.
That's weird.
This is a 10-point dive. It was at number 3 last week.
Really?
Abbey fucking Road. Over 50 years old. Number 3 on the Billboard charts.
That's pretty wild.
Right? Where the fuck did that come from?
Who knows? People just suddenly had a Beatles thing.
I don't know.
Did we sell? Did we?
No one's died.
No one's died.
No one's died.
But like, did someone die on this date and we had an
anniversary thing?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Just must have been a big nostalgic thing.
It's crazy. Anyway, Queen's Greatest Hits is at number 23, which is pretty much right where it was. It's hanging out there for a while. Mm-hmm. Wilco.
Wow.
They have a new album out called Ode to Joy. It's at number 21.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, now for the shit.
For the scrolling. Scrolling.
Elton John's Diamonds is at number 39.
Wow, this is making me sad.
The Beatles 1 is at number 59. That's an 11-point drop.
And you're sitting there swiping up like you're playing Pokemon Go at this point.
Journey's Greatest Hits is at number 74. The Essential Billy Joel is at 76. Legend of Bob Marley and the Wailers is at number 79. Rumors, Fleetwood Mac, number 80.
I'm surprised that Cream isn't anywhere on here with Ginger Baker's death. Thus far.
You know, oh my gosh. Oh, come on.
Go away, notifications.
Yeah, for real. Just let me fucking do my job here. God damn it. See, now it's not going to work. The fuck? Ah!
Technology, you stupid. We hate you. Please don't stop.
Like, for real. Oh, come on. Now it's just froze.
Oh,
Oh, wait.
there you go.
Nope. I don't like my computer just decided to take a shit.
Well, it probably didn't want us to like everything that's going on next, so.
Well, that sucks. Or is it just taking forever to load? I don't know. It's just not responding. Oh, hold on.
Where'd it go?
I don't know. It's still not scrolling up though. Like,
Yeah. Just refresh the page.
like it's not responding to my touch at all. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Now don't refresh. Okay. Where were we? I don't know.
76?
Were you that high? That low?
Yeah. We were at Billy Joel.
Okay. Rumors 80. Right. Okay. Well, it wasn't getting any better anyway. So Tom Petty, Heartbreaker, Greatest Hits is at number 95. AC/DC, Back in Black is at number 101. Tool, Fear Inoculum, number 104.
Yeah.
Taking a 21-point dive. 21-point dive.
Take that, Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Woo.
And
Kicked your ass once. Come back for you.
Don't call it a comeback.
Greatest Hits by Guns N' Roses at 114. Michael Jackson, Essential Michael Jackson is at 121. 9, that newest record by Blink-182 is at number 80. Is at number 130.
I kind of feel like listening to Michael Jackson on the way to work today.
Metallica's Black Album up 16 points to 137. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band 139 with their greatest hits. Thriller 143. No. Kid Rock, greatest hits, You Never Saw It Coming, 157. Kid Rock. Five Finger Death Punch, A Decade of Destruction, 166.
Kid Rock's a douche. I have his CDs, but he's a douche.
Nevermind by Nirvana, 176. The Bohemian Rhapsody soundtrack is at 178, taking the 20-point dive. The Beatles, White Album, 180.
It looks like that's where we're stopping.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Well, 198 is the greatest hits from Bon Jovi.
Okay.
All right, and of course, because we can only get past like the first fucking number on the top 25 hard rock albums, and it is, of course, Queen, greatest hits.
You can't do 1 and 2? I thought we could do 1 and 2.
I might be able to switch it this way and get 2 in there. 2 is Back in Black.
Wow.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
a hit in the testes.
So at least Queen's still up there, of course. So we don't have a discussion for the day, and I actually have to get to work. So
I saw a couple ideas from like Kerrang.
Yeah.
They had like 12 bands that never sold out, kind of thing, which I didn't like the list anyway, because I don't like the idea of the term selling out.
Yeah.
But then I think I saw another one that was like the 50 greatest album openers or something like that.
Yeah. Actually, the one with the sellout thing, we can actually, have a good discussion about, because
I guess
considering our stance on the idea of selling out.
Well, some of the bands on there were pretty good. Like they actually had Nirvana as a band that never sold out, which is interesting to me.
Yeah.
Very interesting to me. Then they have, of course, Rage Against the Machine, High on Fire, Cannibal Corpse, etc., etc.
Yeah. I mean, you can say that about a lot of metal bands. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll save a discussion for next time when we have a little bit more time to do stuff.
Yeah, and possibly if we're doing this on a day I don't have the kids, we might do it later in the day so I can sleep.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I get out of work early on Fridays.
Yeah, I know.
So let me just pull up the button before I do anything. Before we do our outro. So let's call it there because Warrior actually has to go to fucking work, and you need
I'm Warrior, damn it! I need food and a nap.
Yeah, and the
I'm
elf,
a fucking toddler.
and the elf needs to go to work, but my instant buttons program is fighting with me, and
We are having technology problems today.
yes. Okay, Dan, just put in the song in post.
Post? What's post?
Yeah, because my instant buttons is stopping. I need to get a new program for all my buttons. All right. So until next time, I'm Dan Mack.
And this is Chris Mack.
And we are the Slime.
Metal music, metal music, metal music.
There you go.